like when you're the only person seated in a restaurant, so they just bring you all the food? What? Does that not happen to anybody else
Is
before?
that how that works? Ah, that's all anyone ever asks, Alchemist. Is try your hardest. You guess.
Oh,
Oh,
what happened? My browser just crashed. Weird.
your poor laptop. Your laptop is trying to go to the way of is racing with Twitter to see who will crap out first. Hmm. Hang on. What? No, go away. I don't. No, no. Thank you. Okay. Sorry. I'll be alright. Maybe. Probably
You
not.
sure?
No,
No.
absolutely not. Um. Hmm. Did you guys know that on the Game Boy Advance, uh, Capcom released a game called what was it called? Capcom Classics Mini Mix.
Hmm,
That was three NES games just
really?
dropped together, and it's so bizarre. It's Strider for the NES, which was very early in the NES. Bionic Commando, which was very early, sort of early in the NES, and then Mighty Final Fight, which was super duper late into the NES's lifespan.
Huh. No. I did not know this information.
Well, now you do.
Cool.
It just tripped me out. Somebody, was it SNES Drunk, I think, released a video about Mighty Final Fight today.
Hmm.
Oh, I like SNES Drunk too. I'm glad somebody else listens, watches his stuff. I mean,
Nice.
I know it's not just the two of us, but I love how every time the uh the opening is just a little different.
Yeah.
Like SNES
But
Drunk.
but yeah, his newest one was about Mighty Final Fight, and he's like, yeah, it's really expensive, but you can get it on the Game Boy Advance in this Capcom Classics mini mix for like $20. And I was like, and he's a with Strider and Bionic Commando, and my brain exploded. I was like, what? What sort of weird ass decisions led to that being a product you could buy? And so I went and looked it up, and yeah, that's a real thing. What? Anyway, that was time filler to make sure recording started.
Nice.
So here we go. Oh, jam. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is episode 665 of the Mana Pool, as far as I can tell. And I am Chewy, the lead dork. And with me are two-thirds of the other dorks. Is it the same two-thirds as last week? Well, I mean, if you're looking at the video version, you can see who the 404 is on. But for those of you in audio, you you don't know yet. Oh my god, the suspense! The suspense!
Well, now I wasn't sure if I was supposed to talk. I mean, should we stick this at the end, like, just for the patrons? Hey, I'm Brian. I wasn't here last time. I'm here now. Because I was in another state, not of being, but of the United States last time, and in fact, I was driving while they were recording. So, haha, I'm back. I'm still the lead rambler. I'm pretty sure I'm still the tangent master, and so I'm here, and Chewy's here. I guess we'll never find out who the last person is. A
Nope.
mystery for our time. How are you, Dirk?
I'm doing all right.
All
Kind of sore
right.
from wrestling.
I hear
Um,
that.
I'm Mike. I'm the rules guy and the game lore guy, and I haven't
What?
really changed much since last week. Um, so here I am.
What do you mean you're not Dirk? Oh my god. All right then. So yeah, Dirk is currently wrestling, or wrestling coaching, I guess is more accurate.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's not
And
wrestling high school students, no.
but now we
Yeah.
have Brian. So that's it was weird doing a preview episode without you, Brian, but I think we managed.
I'm glad you managed. It was weird for me to not be there, so I could feel a disturbance in the something, you know.
Let's see. Magic, would it be the ether?
Yes.
Let's say yes.
Yeah. All right. So, before we get into the Brothers War, we feel obligated to mention the thing that happened
Yep.
since then, or since our last episode. The this is the Kotaku article because apparently the CNBC article is behind a paywall or something. I don't know, but it's right. Actually, it's right here. But yeah, Hasbro stock has been downgraded by Bank of America, double downgraded, in fact, from buy to underperforming.
Hmm.
And they did a deep dive into into Wizards of the Coast and said that Hasbro's been overprinting cards and destroying the long term value of the business, which I found hilarious because like that's what I've been saying for a long time and it's only gotten worse.
Yeah, that's what many vocal people in the community have been saying for a long time.
Yeah. Like this was our main complaint on Monday Night Magic. Do you know Monday Night Magic has been gone for 2 years now?
Sounds
Uh,
about right.
And like a good year before that,
At least.
we were complaining about Wizards of the Coast just vomiting out new products all the time and not actually caring about like they were prioritizing profit now over long-term health. Like we've been saying this forever.
hmm
But now that freaking Bank of America said it and now the stockholders have been made aware, suddenly now it's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, they've been sliding ever since the beginning of the year. I looked at the chart, and there
That
was a
is true.
point in the beginning, much earlier in the year, where Ashley and I were talking about investing with some um, extra money that we had, and I was thinking about Hasbro, but I didn't do it. And I'm glad I did not because yeah, it was over 100 earlier in the year, and now it's down to like 60.
And yeah, I think it's dropped more since this came out,
Mm,
which, makes sense.
yeah, but yeah, just the release schedule is out of control. Like even recently, when when Brian reminded me not too long ago, when he was asking me, "Hey, are you gonna do the Brothers Work pre-release this weekend?" I was like, "What? That's this?" Talking about the past weekend. It's like that's this coming weekend. It's like, yeah. I said, "Wait a minute," and I thought about the Dominaria United pre-release, and that was only like 2 months before. Like that is a very short period of time compared to what I'd been used to in the past.
Yeah. So, yeah, they've just been and since we just did the episode on this, what, 3 episodes ago?
Hmm.
Let's see, 2 was Halloween. So yeah, no, like four or 5 episodes, whatever, whenever it was, damn it. The whole thing about how Wizards has been turned into an evil corporation. Uh it's going to bug me. What episode was that, damn it?
It was very recent.
I have to open it in a different tab. That was 660. Oh, okay. So there you go. Oh yeah, because then we did the hobbyism. Right, right, right. My brain, since those two go together, my brain conflates them. So I forgot to count.
Uh huh.
And then we did a video game genres, and then we did Halloween, and then we did Bro Part One.
Bro.
Bro. But okay, yeah. But yeah, this is since this is a thing that we've been saying forever. Uh, yeah, it was nice to see market analysis come to the same conclusion that us longtime players have been pointing at forever. And this
I
year is
mean,
just the worst. Like, there's a no, it's in this article. There's a graphic here of I don't think I sent you guys this one. Hang on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where are you guys? You are in Discord. There we go. Yeah, there's a graph here of number of releases. And in 2019 they had 15 releases, and in 2022 there's been 39.
And they're counting all the secret layer drops and stuff.
I have no idea. It's got box set, digital set, starter set, compilation set, expansion set, supplemental set, core set, special edition, and unset, all as part of the legend. So,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
who knows? But yeah, there's just new crap every 20 minutes, and collector fatigue is a real thing. And yeah, they'd have to be counting secret layers to reach 39, I think. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
probably.
Oh, this has a lot of detail in it. Okay, I definitely want to read this later. This
Yeah.
MTG Rocks article.
Yeah, I'll have links to both of these. The Kotaku article, which is just a summation, really, and the MTG Rocks episode, which is more of a deeper dive, in the show notes. But yeah, it's sad.
it is. I mean, on the one hand, you said um, it's kind of nice to be proven right, and I don't disagree with that. This is also the sort of thing that I mean, we like this product, and it's really yes, it is somewhat fulfilling to be like, look, we've been saying this for forever. You know, a lot of people have, but it's kind of like the yay, we were right. This is a horrible thing going on. Still not great, you know?
Yeah, this is why I
So,
own a shirt that says, "Boy, do I hate being right all the time."
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Because I would love to be proven wrong. Sort of like, when I say Twitter is gonna die soon, I would love to be proven wrong, but mm, like like when I say Elon Musk is a giant idiot, like I don't take pleasure in pointing that out. I wish it wasn't the case, but I'm frequently right about things. So, yeah. But anyway, there's really not much to say here other than a market analyst or whatever this is agrees with the things we've been saying for years, and now hopefully, Wizards of the Case will rein it. Wizards of the Coast will rein it in some, but I honestly don't expect that anytime soon.
Yeah. I was listening to NPR yesterday, and
Well, there's your problem.
they were they were talking about Magic as a whole. I think in response to this, and um, Wizard sent in a statement to them that I hate to paraphrase because I'm not going to get it exactly right, and maybe it's not exactly the way they intended, but to me it came across as very shall we say, well, we're sorry that not all of our players appreciate this product kind of thing. And I was like, eh, it did not sound like they were acknowledging to, and maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but did not sound to me like they were really acknowledging, wow, this is pretty divisive and may have been an issue for people due to availability and other stuff. It felt a
Big,
little
this
bit,
product is not for you energy.
yeah, like if you don't like it, it's because you don't get it kind of thing. But that was my take. Hopefully, it was better received than it was for me.
Probably not. Like, as we said on
Yeah,
last week's episode, like the actual designers and developers of Magic are killing it. There's so many insanely awesome cards just in this set, but basically every other section of Wizards of the Coast is just bad at this game. Oh well. So speaking of this set, should we dive back in, see what else there is to
yeah, let's
see?
do it. So,
Yeah.
and I did not listen to last week's episode, so as I promised Chewy before the show, there may be cards that they covered last time that I'm like, ooh, I want to talk about that. And if Chewy recalls or if Mike recalls that it was one that was covered, if you'll just politely tap me on the shoulder and be like, hey, we talked about that, then I would appreciate it. Just let me know and I'll back the hipful up. But
So glad that you went
yeah.
into all that in great detail. So,
Oh sure. It's
uh,
what I do.
Brian, what do you think of Prototype?
I think it is. It's like almost in one sense it's kicker, in another sense it's almost like if kicker were reversed because the big cost is on top and the smaller the smaller cost is kind of in the middle. But I really like it. I really like it. I like the fact that the ability stays consistent, so you understand. Oh, this is uh, a creature with flying. I always get a creature with flying, and if I play it earlier, it's smaller, and if I play it later, it's bigger. And the fact that some of these effects scale depending on um, how big its power and toughness are. For example, there's one I saw a lot of at the pre-release. I'm looking it up right here. The um the Boulder Branch Golem, because it is a common, for 7 mana is a 6/5, and for prototype of 3 and a green is a 3/3. So 7 mana for 6/5 or 4 mana for a 3/3. But when it enters the battlefield, you gain life equal to its power. So very interesting that the effect scales up, and you do have the incentive. Oh, maybe I want to hold on to it and play it later. But a lot of times on turn 3, you're like, I want a 3/3 that gains me 3 life, or turn 4 3/3 that gains me 3 life. Pretty cool. Do you guys like prototype?
Yeah, I
I
think it's
mean, we're
very
not
good.
going to tell you because we mentioned it last episode.
I'll have to go back and listen, and then I'll send you an email, maybe. But yeah, prototype was really cool, both as a concept and then seeing how they implemented it.
Yeah, and then I'll go ahead and repeat one comment that I made. It's interesting how the regular cost for a lot of these just feels kind of wow, that's a lot when you look at what you're getting for what you're paying. But the prototype cost is wow, that's a good card.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it really is like kicker. Well, some kicker cards, the base one is like oh, but but yeah, it's neat the way they design them.
uh, in my in my pre-release pool, and in fact in my deck, I did get a copy of Goring Warplow, which made me think of Mike because it's not quite a one for one with Death Touch, but it does cost 2. and
Mm.
I never played it full because the death touch was the most important word on the card. I do think having a 5/4 with death touch would be great, but most of the time I was running out there as a 1/1. I was heavy black with a red, not splash, a decent amount of red, but I got a corrupt, so I was pretty heavy into corrupt. I think I had like 12 swamps and 4 mountains because corrupt. So,
Nice.
yeah.
So how'd you do?
I went 3-1. Technically, should have been 2-1-1. Lost the first round. I was gonna tie the second round, and on turn in game three on the final turn, my opponent said, "I can't beat you. I concede." I said, "Well, we're on turn five. You know, it's just a tie." He's like, "No, no, no. I'm going to work." So, like, he had to leave right away. So he's like, "I'm conceding." So I appreciated that, and then I um, won the last two rounds pretty handily.
Nice.
Black saw a lot of black. Like every most players were playing black because the removal suite is kind of ridiculous.
Mm.
Um, Sam went with me and played a black green deck. She got the rare land that's half of the Titania meld, but I love the fact that she's 12, and I think a lot of newer players shy away from milling themselves. Mike, you'd be so proud. She was like, "Mill myself, get some bears. Mill myself, get some bears. I like bears. Here's more bears." So she was not afraid of filling the graveyard.
I feel like Emperor Palpatine. Yes.
To the story of Darth. I don't know what's a
Beard.
creature that mills. Yeah, not a.
Darth Vader Wayfinder.
It's not a.
Ah,
Yes. It's not a story your father would tell you because Seder Wayfinder. My deck had two copies of Razorlash Transmogrant, which I don't know if you guys would have covered last week. It's a rare. It's kind of interesting rare, but for 2 mana, it's a 3/1 artifact creature zombie that can't block.
You had
And you're
two of
like,
them?
I had two. One was my stamped card.
Wow.
Um, and then for 4 and 2 black, you return it from your graveyard to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. This ability costs 4 generic less to activate if an opponent controls 4 or more non-basic lands. Obviously, pushed for standard and other constructed formats where they're much more likely to have that many non-basic lands. But I was fine to be like, end of your turn, get my guy back. It's a 4/2, and I if I could play one early, they hated to trade with it because they knew it was coming back eventually.
Hmm.
There's some graveyard hate in the set, but not. It wasn't overwhelming. So yeah, they did some work for me.
Okay, because it feels like there's a fair bit, but I guess in practice it doesn't feel like a lot.
In practice, especially like again, I think for limited, it's the question of what is it going in instead of something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I
yeah.
got corrupt, and I got painful quandary, which I feel like painful quandary is a reprint.
It is. It's
Okay,
it was from was it from one of the old Mirrodin sets? I
I
don't think
wonder if
that's
it was
right.
mirrored in Innistrad, but I had that. It very rarely mattered. It looks really enticing. It didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah, I've almost put it in so many commander decks, but it just
Hmm.
hasn't made it.
Yeah, and then I had a bunch of removal. So yay, black.
Nice.
Sam got an obstinate Baloth, and I was surprised. I looked at the art. I'm like, I feel like I know this card because it's the same art. And then I was like, oh wait, I do know that, but that's a rare. Wait, it's uncommon.
Mm.
Oh
So
wow, look at
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Why? What? Huh? Okay.
yeah. There's a couple of interesting reprints in the set. Obstinate Baloth, Fauna Shaman is here. And honestly, opening the packs, I gotta say, I did not go through the full card list before I went to the pre-release, so I was reading a lot of stuff for the first time. I was opening packs. I was genuinely surprised to see OG Giant Growth back. It's been a while
Hmm.
since we've had three plus three for a single mana. So, yeah.
Huh.
Okay,
Uh,
Painful Laundry was from Scars of Mirrodin.
okay, you were right. So, what's another mechanic in the set? So we talked about prototype.
I mean, that's the
The
only new
meld,
one.
the meld cards are just awesome, but I love meld. Meld is such a great thing. I wish they would honestly do it a little more. It has to be special. You don't if you start putting, these giant what is it essentially, they make giant cards when you put them together. If you start putting them in every set, it definitely loses some special value, but I still think they're one of the coolest things we've ever had. So the meld cards are awesome.
Yeah. Was there much unearthing going on at the pre-release?
There was a decent amount. Not It was not like everywhere. um Everyone that got the blue one played it. And by the blue one, I'm kind of going up now. And you guys tell me if this is one you covered last week or not. Uh, the Teresian Mindbreaker.
I mean,
Anybody that had it,
What?
everybody that had
yeah,
it in
for
their pool
limited.
played it. I mean, even one of my opponents could not unearth it, and they still played it. Uh, for 7 mana, it's a 6/4 with unearth of 1 and 3 blue, but whenever it attacks, defending player mills half their library rounded up. Samantha's first round opponent
Oof.
played one of these and then played a hulking metamorph, making a copy of it. And they called for a rules question for me since I was right there, and they're like, "Does that if I attack with both, does our whole library go away?" I said, "No, it's half and then another half, so you'll still get really close." Um, but then Sam actually turned around and won the next turn, so aha, good for her. But yeah, I saw a lot of the Mind Breaker. Just everybody that had it played it.
Oh yeah. How did
Other
Sam do?
Sam won one and lost three, and the one she won was the bye. But she won individual games, and she was having a fantastic time.
Nice.
Um, so yeah,
Which is the important bit.
absolutely. Like I later I was like, "Did you have a good time?" Since she, uh, you know, had a 1 and 3 record. She's like, "Yeah, I had a great time," and everybody that played her was awesome human beings, which that certainly helped. Everybody was super patient. Her last round opponent, who was also ironically named Mike, was just fabulous, and they're just cutting up the whole time. At one point, she's like, "I destroy your creature gleefully," and he looks at me. He's like, "I'm worried for your daughter, but I think she's awesome." So
Yeah, I really like the crowd at that shop.
it is a good crowd.
Wait, who was that you were just talking about?
His name is Mike. I don't know his last name.
Oh, the judge guy?
I don't know if he's a
No, never
judge.
mind then. Because if it's that Mike, then yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, 9 o'clock.
As I'm scanning the cards, don't most sets have 15 mythics? Maybe that's not the case anymore. I'm just like mythic symbol, mythic symbol, mythic symbol. I'm seeing like a ton of mythics.
Yeah,
Just
we did them all last week, so
wow. Okay. Well, Chewy, since I wasn't here, I know I need to go back and listen to the episode, but just real quick, what was the mythic that you thought was the most interesting card?
The two at the bottom of multicolored, the Blade
Yeah.
Coil Serpent and Clay Champion. The design on those just
Mm,
blew my mind.
Saw the blade coil serpent, and that I love the fact that you can pay as much for X as you want and keep getting that effect. It seems really, I know that the impulses be like play blue and draw all the cards, but the thought of playing lots of black and having them basically discard their hand feels very tempting. So
But yeah, those that's the one. Those are the ones that my brain broke on.
yeah. Somebody at the pre-release played a cityscape leveler, and I was very uh it it was very impressive. And his opponent top decked the exile and an artifact, like top decked it, and there was a little bit of like good for you, but a little bit of a letdown at the same time. So
I mean, he still got to blow something up.
I would now my first round opponent was also on black and red like me, but he had some interesting cards, including the mythic Mishra. Um, he didn't have the other half of the meld, but Mishra's bad enough. But he was misreading a couple cards, and after the first game, we kind of realized it. It was too late to do anything. But there's a couple red cards that allow you to like exile two cards and pick one and play it. And he was reading it as by accident, exile these cards. You have until the end of your next turn to play them. And had we known that, it would have
mm,
affected the game, but we didn't catch it until afterward. And he was super nice, and I don't think for a second he did it intentionally. So got to be careful with that sort of thing. I'm looking for it now. I know one of them was Mishra's research desk for a single mana uncommon artifact. Pay one and tap and sacrifice Mishra's research desk. Exile the top two cards of your library. Choose one of them. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. And Mishra's research desk itself has Unearth of one in a red. So, pretty cool. Missed that one line. There's a lot of words on the card. Missed that one line. And to be fair, a lot of red stuff lately has been exile these cards. You have until end of X turn to play them. So it's a little different to have the you only get to choose one.
mm-hmm.
So yeah. Um, in my deck, looking right above this, I had the heavyweight demolisher for 7, an 8/6 with menace, uncommon artifact construct. At the beginning of your upkeep, tap Heavyweight Demolisher unless you pay 3 mana and has Unearth of 6 and 2 red. I
Hmm.
did unearth it once
Wow.
and and um but not very often. In I think the very last game of the whole tournament, I was clinging on. I thought the opponent was outdrawing me. I got one out. I swung in once or twice, but I didn't want to lose it. And then I was looking at my mana. I'm like, I'm looking at a sculpting steel in my hand. I'm like, I can copy this, but then that's gonna be all my mana forever. So before combat, I made a copy, thinking, okay, if he blows up the one, I've still got another one. And he actually drew a card, and with a still decent board against me, he conceded. And I was like, "You okay?" And it turned out he had drawn all but like five of the land cards in his deck, and he had nothing but lands in his hand. And now he's looking at 2 8/6s with menace. So, yeah. Um, Sculpting Steel, also, by the way, really cool. You guys remember that one. So the
Hard to
whole
forget.
the cards that were reprinted with the retro frame were really interesting to play in limited. I didn't want to build Sam's deck for her because it's her own thing, but she was literally about to run out of time and she had to pick like four more cards. So I was like, just, take cards from the top. And as she's going through, I saw they're not listed here because they're reprints, but it's Sigil of the Valorous or something. Basically, it's an equipment that gives something exalted. And I remember that thing being really good. So I'm like, put this in. And she's like, I wasn't going to put that in. I'm like, then don't put it in. But trust me, it's really good. And I believe I was right.
That it's really good. Yeah, yeah, you were.
Yeah. So, but I've been talking a lot. I had a lot of fun. What are some cards that you guys wanted to talk about that you didn't get to talk about last time? Or do you have other questions about my experience? Either
Uh,
or.
I okay. In artifacts, I just ran across the stasis coffin,
Yeah.
and what?
It's in white, right?
What? No, it's an artifact.
Oh, I guess maybe that's not the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of an O-ring effect. Okay,
Oh
coming
no,
down.
no. The stasis coffin for 3 mana is a legendary artifact that says two and tap and exile the stasis coffin. You gain protection from everything until your next turn. So
I had not seen that.
you're just jumping into your coffin to not die or to not have something awful happen to you.
Yeah.
And I find that hilarious.
That is cool. I had not even seen that because again, I still have not seen the whole set. From the name, I was thinking of Static Net. So, which is not an artifact, it's an enchantment and it's in white, but it's basically an O-ring that costs four, and when it comes in, you gain two life and get a tap power stone. Saw lots of power stones, by the way, like a lot, a lot, a lot. But stasis coffin, that's really cool, and I feel like that's kind of connected to Talwanos's story.
Yeah,
Talanos,
it's a callback to Tanos's coffin,
that makes sense.
which is basically a movable O-ring effect. I think it uses the phasing rules officially now to make it work the way it was originally written. Using phasing was turned out to be the best way to do
Sorry, Chifuji in the chat just said it's the Indiana Jones nuked fridge.
it.
I'm gonna hop in my box.
Nice.
Save base. Can't touch me.
You guys did cover the mythics last time. What did you think?
Excuse me.
I'm trying to find it here. Um, Hercule's final. Oh, it's not mythic. It's only a rare. Mike, have you seen Hercule's final meditation?
I have seen Hercule's Final Meditation. I remember thinking it was cool, but let's see what it
color
is.
is it?
It's blue.
Ah.
It's super blue.
It's a big blue spell. And it could be an even bigger blue spell if you want to cast it during someone else's turn. So it costs 4 blue, blue, blue. It's an instant. As long as it's not your turn, it costs 3 more to cast. So during your turn, it costs 7. During someone else's turn, it costs 10. And that's because it says return all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. End the turn. So yeah, so it's a time stop plus.
Yeah, it's a time stop plus bounce everything. Had had one opponent play one for 7 mana against me. So their deck was very tempo oriented. She in her retro cards opened up Mike a Phyrexian processor.
Yay.
She did not pay 19 life. Every time she played it, she paid 5 life, which was essentially spot on. Like 5 is that
That's
really good
still,
sweet spot.
that's still good. I might
Oh,
have
it's
risked I might have risked 7.
but the tokens I get where you're coming from, but the tokens don't have trample, so at a certain point, they're still just the biggest things.
Yeah.
I won game one against her because I just kind of outpaced her, and then in game two, she got out the processor, had made two tokens, was easily in a spot to make more. Gotten down a bunch of little things, so I was holding her off for a while, and then she played. This is my chance to actually reference another card. Brotherhood's End, um, and wiped me out. And I'm looking at the stuff in my hand, and there's no way. So I was like, "You got it, game three." And she's like, "Really?" She seemed a little disappointed. I'm like, "You don't understand. You're gonna make a 5/5 every turn. I can't even play half the stuff in my hand. You're good." So, and then I won game three, but and then game three she did play Urkel's Final Meditation and bounced everything and when she had nothing on the board, so I just bounced all my stuff. So that was pretty good. But 10 mana is a lot.
Yeah.
So Brotherhood's End for one red is a sorcery that says choose one. It deals 3 damage to each creature in each planeswalker, or destroys all artifacts with mana value 3 or less.
Yeah.
Yep.
Modal Sweeper gives me fond memories of Slagstorm.
Yeah. And this is highly versatile in this set. It's
Mm-hmm.
very versatile. In the instance where she played against me, she played in two different games, both times choosing the second mode, destroying all artifacts with mana value 3 or less. That generally wiped out my stuff. A note about my pool. Do you know how many black creatures I got in my entire pool, which I leaned heavily black in? I got two creatures. And when I say two, it's two copies of a single creature, Ravenous Gigamole, which is a fun name to say. Ravenous Gigamole for 3 and a black is a 2/3 mole horror. It's common when it enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. You may put a creature card from among the cards milled this way into your hand. If you don't, put a +1/+1 counter on Ravenous Gigamole. So the problems with my pool are step one, I definitely want to play black if it's at all possible, and heavy black if I'm doing corrupt. But I'm also light on creatures. I think I only played 13 creatures. So this thing is milling and not getting me back anything a lot. And for 4 mana, so I ended up not playing either. So I had a lot of artifact creatures. I mean, a lot. All my creatures were either artifacts or red, or sometimes both. So something like Brotherhood's End was generally pretty good against me, turns out. I will, my pool did have one mythic card, Urza's Stylix, and it was almost enough to make me go white by itself, but I didn't have the support for. I didn't have any planeswalkers for the second part, and it's a sweeper, but it's a double white sweeper, and I wasn't gonna commit to that. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys talked about it last time because it's mythic, but the temptation was definitely there, but I withstood it.
Nice.
So Mike, what's another card that stood out to you that you wanted to talk about?
Um, let's see. Are we still talking about mythics or just anything?
I mean, we've covered all the mythics, so
Yeah, that's true. Well, I didn't know if he was asking me about that since he wasn't here for it. Um, gosh, I'm scrolling up and down. Um, oh, you know what? It's a common card, but it's just really cool and I like it. Mishra's Juggernaut.
Yes, a juggernaut with unearth.
Yes,
Yep.
and it has trample. You know, you're paying
Okay.
5 for 5/3 with trample. It has to attack each combat of Fable, but hey, it has trample, so that's good. And yeah, the unearth cost is just 5 and a red, so just one more.
Yeah. Does original juggernaut not have trample?
No, original Juggernaut can't be blocked by walls.
That's
and
right.
it only costs 4.
Yeah. But so for one more mana, adding trample and then also having the unearth cost, yeah, that's pretty good.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that.
How about some of these multicolored cards?
How about some of these multicolored cards?
And the hiccups.
Yeah, we didn't get super in depth on these. Let's see what we have here.
Yeah, Legion to Ashes was just mentioned in the chat.
Hmm.
For one, a white and a black is a rare sorcery that says exile target non land permanent an opponent controls, and all tokens that player controls with the same name as that permanent. It's a cool way to wipe out someone's Power Stone collection, I guess.
Yep. In the last standard format, I really could have used this for the stupid insect that made copies of itself um, on landfall when you have seven or more lands. That thing was everywhere. It was very popular, especially with mutate, because then you were getting copies of the full mutated creature. So something like this would have been very nice.
Yeah. Scute Swarm.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The hell? Oh. Sorry, apparently it's somebody hot rodding outside. It was just very loud and caught me off guard.
Look at me, I've got an engine. Vroom, vroom.
Exactly.
I
Oh,
in
here's
multicolored.
Thanos.
Well, why don't we talk about him?
I didn't realize Thanos was in this set. So,
Yeah, it's really interesting that I guess I would just have to know more about the story to understand this, but I think it's actually really cool that they made something so um odd and specific. So Tanos the Toy Maker is 3 a green and a blue for a 3/5 human artificer, legendary human artificer. It's rare. And whenever you cast a beast or bird creature spell, you may copy it, except the copy is an artifact in addition to its other types.
So, two things I want to say about this one. First, that's just really cool. And the fact that it's in the same set as an uncommon obstinate Baloth makes me pretty happy.
Yeah.
But second of all, on a more basic level, you know what one of my favorite features that we do on the show every now and then is story circle. You know why we haven't done a story circle in a long time? I know we talked about this. It's because
Oh
while
yeah.
there's been some interesting legendary creatures lately, and if anything, they're giving us more and more and more legendary creatures. So many of them are like, hey, when you play this, draw a card.
Yeah, whenever you play Magic, draw a card.
Yeah. This this sounds really kind of unique
Hmm.
and kind of you can do so many things with it. You can do a theme deck if you want to have like, oh, I'm playing a zoo deck, but look, everything belongs in the zoo because it's birds and beasts. Or you can go artifacts, like you're getting a ton of artifact tokens, so things that care about artifacts entering the battlefield, uh, like affinity, for example, or again other things that just trigger off that. I think this could be a really interesting. I hope somebody takes this and is really inspired by it. I realize it's another tribal card. It's another like, hey, play these two things, but at least it's not. While I love vampires, at least it's not another, hey, play vampires card. The fact that this works in a slightly different way, I don't know. I think this could be really interesting. What do you guys think?
Oh, I think so too. And with and choosing creature types that aren't as like obviously supported. They have been in the
Hmm.
past. There's bee stuff and bird stuff, um, scattered here and there, but it's
Yeah.
not like. like you just said, vampires or goblins.
or dragons. Yeah,
Hmm.
beasts, especially when I was getting started in Onslaught block, beasts were a big thing. Beast is always kind of an interesting creature type because it's
Yeah,
kind of a catch-all.
can cover a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty great.
Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah. Sorry, I just read for the literal first time levitating statue. And that's exactly what it is. Like
It's
I was like
cool.
I missed so it's levitating statue for 2 mana is an artifact. It's not always a creature, so it doesn't have a stated power and toughness. It's uncommon. It has flying, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on levitating statue. For 2 mana, levitating statue becomes a 1/1 construct artifact creature until end of turn. The thing that was funny to me was that I missed the word flying the first time, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, where does it levitate? And I look back up at the top. Oh, duh, it's flying all the time, even when it's not a creature. Okay, I don't know why. It just I'm like, ha, I like it. So I got a mine worker in my pool, and I have not even seen the other two cards. Like, I kid you not, as we're sitting here, I've not seen the other two cards. So let's do this real quick. Mine worker for 2 mana is a 2/1 artifact creature assembly worker. It has tap. You gain 1 life. If you control creatures named Power Plant Worker and Tower Worker, you gain 3 life instead. And the whole day I waited, and nobody else played either of these other two cards. So I am I am now driven to see what these other two cards do. So what do they do?
Well, the power plant worker. I think this is cool. Costs 5 for a 4/4. It's also a common assembly worker. You can pay 3. Power plant worker gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If you control creatures named Mine Worker and Tower Worker, put two +1/+1 counters on Power Plant Worker instead. Activate only once each turn.
And he's already a 4/4. Damn.
Yeah, it's a big chunky root wallow.
Yeah.
And then the
Okay, that's cool.
where is it? The tower worker for 3 mana is a 1/3 with reach that says tap to add a colorless. And if you control the other two, you add 3 colorless instead. So he's actually a tower.
He's actually a tower, but I like that they aren't all just mana bots.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you have all three, you can get 3 mana, which you can then put into the power plant worker to give it two +1/+1 tokens, and you can tap the uh, the first one for 3 life. That's
Yeah.
Pretty
not
good.
that's not broken, but it's pretty fun. I like the fact that it's not just straight up like, oh, just get all the mana. Um, they're all common. It's really interesting to me. I only saw the one. And I like the fact that the tower worker is actually a window washer. The window viper. Yeah.
Oh, I did see something else in the multicolored.
Okay.
Like a card that's uh, really like an upgrade to Young Pyromancer, for a deck that can cast it. The third path iconoclast for a blue and a red is a 2/1 uncommon human monk. And whenever you cast a non creature spell, create a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token. Because Young Pyromancer just triggers off of instants and sorcery specifically. So opening up to any non creature spell is actually pretty big.
That is kind of, especially in a set loaded with artifacts.
Hmm.
Yeah. And now this does require blue, whereas the young pyromancer is only a generic in a red.
Yeah,
But I mean,
there are
a lot of
many
those decks,
settings. There are many settings where young pyromancer is in a blue red deck anyway. Not all the time,
right?
but a lot of
Not
the
all
time.
the time. So
Hmm.
that's I think that's the kind of trade off here is you're locking into that, but it's not much of a trade off because again, what is this wanting you to do? It's wanting to play non creature spells. So
Yeah, yeah. Like I couldn't put this in the Jund colored assault loam deck that also had young pyromancer in it. That doesn't work. But I could definitely put it in the blue red delver deck.
um
If you were a monster, I mean, what?
If I'm playing delver, yes.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah.
So earlier
did you
we.
get
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you guys cover the commands?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Earlier,
All right.
chat pointed out we should read Takasia. So I'll read Takasia. Takasia, dig site mentor for one and a. Crap. Bant? There we go. So one, a green, a white, and a blue. Is a human artificer, legendary, of course, and rare. She's 4/3. What does it
Oh, I
say?
didn't notice that.
Creatures you control have vigilance and tap to surveil one. Oh,
They're
okay.
digging.
That's neat. And then for two and two bants and exile Takasia from your graveyard. What? Return any number of target artifact cards with total mana value 10 or less. Oh, from your graveyard to the battlefield, activate only as a sorcery.
This was the adoptive mother or mentor, kind of both, to Urza and Mishra. I think she got all blowed up when they were fighting.
Man, that's a cool ability.
That is.
Pay 8, get 10 mana worth of stuff.
And man, that's a lot.
It
I know
really
that
is.
almost doesn't go without saying, but
Also, why are there so many spiders in this set?
there's a lot.
It feels that way, doesn't it?
There's one that's very frustrating for limited. If you're on the other end, the hoarding recluse
Color?
for three green for three and a green is a 2/3 spider with reach and death touch.
Ah,
Yep, blocks all the things, kills all the things. When it dies, put up to one other target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library, which that part may or may not matter in the grand scheme of things, but a 2/3 for 4 with reach and death touch slows things down. Like you're like, I've got this 6/4 with haste. Doesn't doesn't matter now. Yeah. What's another spider?
oh, I don't know. I've just noticed that there are a lot.
Okay. Sam loves the art on Fade from History in green, by the way.
Because it's
Doesn't
awesome.
doesn't even matter what it does. She was like, oh,
I mean, look at them. But what's it do? Because it's also
for
good.
2 and a green as a sorcery, rare.
You want to
Each
try that
player who
again?
control what?
You want to try that again?
Fade from History for 2 and 2 green. Did I say 2 and a green?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. 2 and 2 green. Each player who controls an artifact or enchantment creates a 2/2 green bear creature token. Then destroy all artifacts and enchantments. Sorry I blowed up all your stuff. Here's a bear, no matter how many bears you had before.
But they're cute. And as chat pointed out, they're polar bears.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, considering what's coming, that's probably better that way. But they're bears, and I love them. This would definitely have gone in a cute deck. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, that. Yep.
Ow. Um. Hmm. Buh. Why
Yes.
does? No. Hell no.
What's wrong?
I just scrolled up to red and saw the scrapwork mutt with its one eye.
Oh yeah, it's weird looking.
And
It's a
no.
good boy.
Question mark?
Yeah. What's it do?
2 mana for a 2/1 artifact creature dog at common. When it enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. And it has Unearth of 1 and a red. Nice little rummaging effect there.
Yeah. Do a little bit of trading at the same time, both trading your cards and trading with other creatures, hopefully.
Yeah. I think it needs to stop doing that, though, whatever it's doing. Maybe grow another eye. All right. Chat says they like Drafna in blue.
Okay.
So tell us what Drafna does with its tiny little type line. So cute.
All right, we have it's a Drafna, the founder of Lot Nam. It's the legendary human artificer advisor. And we're talking about 1 and a blue for a 2/1. First ability, pay 1 and a blue, return target artifact you control to its owner's hand. Second ability, 3 tap, copy target artifact spell you control.
Ooh. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow. That. Huh.
Yeah.
And then you could bounce the original again and copy it again later.
Yep. Or if they're just gonna blow something up, you're gonna be like, no.
Huh.
Feels very shenanigans-ish.
It really does. Shenanigans ish.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good word.
Thank you. I'm proud of it.
Ooh, Hercule is right here too. I didn't know Hercule got a card. Hercule also has a tiny little type line. Hercule is
Yeah, and a lot of words.
for 1 blue is a 2/4 legendary human wizard advisor. Wait, what's Drafna? A human artificer advisor. Oh. All right. At the beginning of your end step, if you've cast a non-creature spell this turn, reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Okay. For each card type among non-creature spells you've cast this turn. What? Wait, what? For each card type among non-creature spells you've cast this turn. Jesus Christ. Designing for digital again. You may put a card of that type from among the revealed cards into your hand and put the rest on the bottom in a random order.
So as long as you've cast at least one non-creature spell, look at the top 5. If you've cast an instant, you can grab an instant from among those. If you've cast a sorcery, you can grab a sorcery for each type. I like the fact that if you have not cast a non-creature spell, it won't trigger.
Yeah,
I like that.
A lot of busy work.
Yes.
Now, here's something cool. You can, if I'm interpreting this correctly, which I think I am, I don't think it's overly restrictive. If you've cast an artifact and Hercule is triggering off of an artifact, you would be able to grab an artifact creature.
You would. Although then playing that artifact creature next turn would not count for this
Hmm. But hey.
because it, yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, you're correct. Same as if you got an instant creature.
Yeah,
Not yet,
and
sadly.
Jay Spencer pointed out that if you cast Thassa's Bident, for instance, you could find an artifact and an enchantment because it doesn't specify different. It just says for the card types among spells you've cast. So
That's right.
Yeah. For card types that overlap like that, you're gonna have to make a choice which one you want. But like if you reveal two
That's fine.
enchantments,
Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah. I know you guys covered this last time, I'm sure, because it's mythic, but one with the multiverse is kind of nutty. It feels like the second coming of something like omniscience. It's not quite on the same level, but it's getting pretty close. The enchantment, you can look at the top card of your library. You can play lands and cast spells from the top of your library, so it's future sight. But also, once during each of your turns, you may cast a spell from your hand or the top of your library without paying its mana cost. Just, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that one's
It
silly.
costs 8, but a
It's
little nutty.
still silly.
Yeah.
Hmm. Chat. What else should we talk about? Like we did all of the Urzas and Mishras. Oh, here's Ashnod. What does Ashnod do? Ashnod Flesh Mechanist. Ooh, she sounds fun. For a single black, she's a 1/1 human artificer with Death Touch. And whenever Ashnod attacks, you may sacrifice another creature, and if you do, you get a tapped Power Stone. Okay. And then for 5, and exile a creature card from your graveyard, you get a 3/3 colorless zombie artifact creature token. Oh. Huh. Okay.
It's pretty neat.
Hey, Mike, it's a 1/1 with Death Touch for one.
At least it's not common.
That's true. One of my retro cards was actually an Ashnod's Altar, and I was sorely tempted because I know how abusive it can be, but I didn't really have enough ways to abuse it, so it didn't get put in. But I was like, wow, this feels nutty that this is here. It's not, those cards aren't in standard, right? They're just
No,
in,
they're just in your pool when you open them.
right. Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
this is very synergistic with itself. All these things build on each other.
Apparently Brian should read Over the Top, which I think is in red.
Okay.
Is that what I remember?
Heading
Yeah, here it is.
over the top. I have not read this yet. I don't think I didn't see this at the pre-release. For 5 and 2 red, it's a rare sorcery. It's a red rare sorcery. Here we go. For 7 mana. Ooh, boy, is this gonna be like, something silly? Each player reveals a number of cards from the top of their library equal to the number of non-land permanents they control, puts all permanent cards they revealed this way onto the battlefield, and puts the rest into the graveyard. So it's like a warped world, kinda, that doesn't get rid of the stuff you've got already.
Hmm.
Right? Is that how
Right.
I'm reading this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then
that's a good
everything
way
else
to
you
interpret it.
revealed goes to the graveyard. Huh.
For like, unearthing shenanigans and whatnot. Yeah, it's pretty neat. I you know me and
Well,
polymorph and that sort of effect. So yeah,
I mean, all the permanents go into the battlefield, so the only things going into the graveyard are non-permanent cards.
yeah,
So no unearthing. Flashing back, sure, but no unearthing.
that's true. That's true. Thank you.
bad at this game.
A little bit.
Ooh, I like Pyrrhic
What's
Blast.
mm-hmm.
It's a fling.
Yeah.
For 3 in a red, it's an uncommon instant. As an additional cost, you sack a creature, and it deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to any target. Draw a card.
Yeah, it's a fling cantrip.
Yeah, that's gross. That makes me happy. I would like to subscribe to your Pyrrhic Blast newsletter. Okay, what was the other one? In white, Lauren of the Third Path. They said we should read. I can't spell. How do you spell? There it is. Oh, we've got 2 different Lauren. Lauren?
Yeah, because
Oh, yeah,
like
you're right.
some of the better known legends like Urza and Mishra show up at different rarities. So
And yeah, and this person that I've never heard of.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm trying.
because you're
I've read
seeing
the
them.
books, but I don't remember.
Yeah, because you're seeing them at different points in the story.
Oh, well, let's read
Yeah.
the uncommon one first.
Okay.
Then we'll do the rare one.
Okay, so
Well,
at uncommon, we have Lauren, Disciple of History. For 3 and a white, you get a 3/3 legendary human artificer. And whenever Lauren, Disciple of History, or another legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand.
neat.
Cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so how about the third path?
Well, that would be Loran of the Third Path for 2 and a white. Now she's a legendary creature, human artificer, rare. She's a 2/1 with vigilance for 3 mana. When she enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment. So she's a naturalize or disenchant. Tap, you and target opponent each draw a card. So politics, but like not the gross kind.
Alchemist said she
Do you
studies the
like
soup. She is definitely studying the soup. And taking copious notes. Is that a carrot? Are there carrots in this soup? Write that down.
it's pretty misty.
That just means it's hot soup.
It's either very hot or very cold, like, gazpacho.
Ew. Cold soup is a problem. I know it's supposed to be cold in some cases, but that's the soup you don't eat.
You send it back to the kitchen to get microwaved?
What? No, you just order something else, like cold soup. That's awful. Transmogrant altar, Jay Spencer said. Whoop, there are too many transmogrants. Alright. For 3 mana, it's an uncommon artifact. In black. And you pay a black and tap and sack a creature to add 3 colorless mana. Ooh. Or you pay 2 tap and sack a creature to create a 3/3 zombie artifact creature at sorcery speed. Oh. Okay. That's... yeah, I like that.
Hmm.
Is there a crown in every color?
No.
Not okay. Well, not a crown. Is there one of these artifacts that equips for like a color or not colored?
I feel like there probably should be. So
but there's not.
There's one at common in white.
There's not one in
I don't
blue.
see I don't see one in green. So
Oh, so what's left? Red? There is not one in red. Okay.
Okay.
So white and blue then. Got it. Or white and what's this one? Black.
Black. At different rarities.
Yeah. And the Transmogran's crown is actually a little scary if you remember um, Skull Clamp, but don't remember it well.
yeah.
So
No, I had sorry, go ahead.
so for 2 mana, it's a rare artifact equipment that gives the creature +2/+0. Whenever equipped creature dies, you draw a card, and it equips for either 2 or a black. And like I saw someone, it's probably Will Blanks, post this on like Facebook and was like, I never thought I'd see this text on a card again. And I read it and I went, I don't get it. Like,
It's
and
perfectly fine on this card. Perfectly fine. Because it's one card and it doesn't have a way to like immediately kill the creature
yeah.
after you equip
And
it.
so I didn't understand what he's talking about. So I went to the comments and he was like, yeah, freaking Skull Clamp. And like multiple people, they pointed out, this is nothing like Skull Clamp, you idiot. Stop. And
It's a callback to it. I think.
possibly.
It's I got so this was in my pool. I played it. As you could imagine, playing this with two Razorlash Transmogrants
Ooh,
went
that's funny.
pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it worked exactly as well as you think it would. Um, if not a little better. Uh, and yeah, it honestly it worked really really well because oh look, I've got a 5/1 that when it dies I draw a card. The fact that it's one card and the fact that it actually doesn't give the -1 is what makes it more balanced than Skull
Yeah.
Clamp.
Yeah, Skull Clamp
But
was a fine card until they made it worse by making it give +1/-1.
yeah,
Worse is in serious air quotes.
yeah.
So what's the one in white?
It's common. It's veterans. Oh crap, where'd it go? There it is. Veterans Power Blade. So this is a 3 mana equipment that gives the creature +2/+0. It has an equip cost of 2, but it has an equip soldier cost of a single white mana.
Oh.
Yeah, so there are soldiers on the cards, and also several things that make 1/1 soldier artifact creature tokens.
Yeah. Oh, Razorback said Loren was Felden's wife. Oh yeah, we should read Felden because he's in here.
That's right. Felden got another card.
Yeah, Felden with his stick. Which I like the way that the cane is literally the cane from the original art.
Mm-hmm.
So Felden, Ronom, and let me try that again. Ronom Excavator. Ronom? Ronom. It's moron spelled sideways. So Felden, Ronom Excavator for 1 and a red is a 2/2 legendary human artificer with haste. And he can't block. He's aggro. But whenever he's dealt damage, you exile that many cards from the top of your library, pick one, and until the end of your next turn, you can play that card. Hey, it's that again.
Yep.
Wow, Felden's kind of boring.
Yeah, you can get more cards, but I mean, it's probably just one.
I mean,
It has haste.
it's
It has
literally
2 power
just
and
one.
haste.
Unless they somehow block it with a 1 toughness thing or a 1 power thing, which seems really stupid on their part.
Yes.
But I guess he's a 2/2 for 2 with haste, so
Yeah.
get him.
And I mean, like you could pump him
I mean, if you want
so
to,
that it's
like a weirdo.
sorry. not trying to bring my strange, proclivities to the show. Proclivities.
Yeah, leave your weird fetishes for the after hours version.
Oh, is that on the Manipool Plus?
Yeah, it's the Manipool
The Mana
OnlyFans.
yeah. The Manipool After Dark.
Feet pics and Brian's weird proclivities. Oh my god. Anyway, I do like the giant cinder maw right next to it. Like, it's nice and simple. A 3 mana 4/3 with trample, and players can't gain life. But it's a dinosaur beast. What? And it looks. Oh my god, did you guys ever see the Tremors movies past the first one?
No.
No.
Oh, well, okay, you should see the second one, and then you should stop. But
Okay.
the Tremors, like the first Tremors, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna use the P word. Is damn near a perfect film. Like, it's brilliant, and the second one is pretty good, and then from there it falls off. But this looks like one of the weird evolutions
Wait,
of.
does Trevor's have Tremors, not Trevor's. That's dark. Does Tremors have Kevin Bacon or Kevin Costner or Kevin Slater?
The first one.
Bacon. Okay.
Yeah, he did not come back for any of the others, but he was in the first one. It's really good. It's like a daytime horror comedy because it's got monsters in it, but it takes place mostly in broad daylight, and it's really funny. Anyway, I'm just saying the giant cinder maw looks like something from like Tremors 4, maybe 5, because I think 4 was the prequel. 4 was pretty good too, actually, if that was the prequel. Anyway. Oh yeah, we mentioned the Suchi cave guard at the end of the episode last week, but we didn't read it. Or did we? Yeah, we did. Briefly.
I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah.
Did, did you see Scrapwork Rager? Because this has given me serious Phyrexian Rager vibes, probably on purpose.
Yeah, including the art.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it is a
Okay.
Phyrexian Rager, essentially.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, then. It's a 4 mana 2/2 that enters the battlefield, draw a card, lose a life, and it has Unearth for 4. Since for some reason Brian didn't read it, he just said, okay.
Well, we said it was a Phyrexian Rager, so I didn't know that we needed to cover the rest, but that's okay. Now we're good.
With Unearth.
Yes.
Which is gross. Okay, let's go back down here. What's down here? Oh yeah, did we hit all the lands? I forget. Not all
I
of
don't
them.
remember us focusing on that.
Most of these are pretty whatever. Like, that says Mishra's Foundry, not Factory. What is this card?
It's a new variation on the factory.
Oh, look at that. So it taps. It's rare. It taps for colorless. For 2, it becomes a 2/2 assembly worker until end of turn. And for 1 and tap, you can give target attacking assembly worker +2/+2 until end of turn.
Yeah.
Wow, it's like a balanced version of the factory.
Yeah, it's been adjusted. So waking it up costs 2 instead of 1. The pumping ability isn't free anymore. It costs 1. It can only be used on an attacking assembly worker, but it gives +2/+2 instead of +1/+1. So you get a little extra for what you're trading away.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a rebalance factory, and thank goodness because factory is kind of busted. Ooh, there's the Hall of Tagsin that taps for colorless, 1 and tap for any color, and 4 and tap for a power stone that's tapped. Huh.
I like it. Long-term investment.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We've got a soldier land. What? That's
I
cool.
think that's the only one of its kind in this set.
I think so.
I will
Yeah.
tell. I
What's it
will
do?
tell you. Sorry, go ahead.
All I said was, "What's it do?" But what will you tell me?
No, it's okay. Where is the soldier land? I'm looking for it right now, and I'm not
Fortified
seeing.
beachhead.
Okay. Well, I'll read it for the first time. Uh, as it enters the battlefield, you may reveal a soldier card from your hand. Fortified Beachhead enters the battlefield tapped unless you revealed a soldier card this way, or you control a soldier.
Yep.
Tap for a white or a blue, or pay 5 and tap. Soldiers you control get +1/+0 until end of turn.
Plus
Or
one, plus one.
+1/+1.
What'd I say?
1-0.
I'm tired. Been a long day. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Interesting. Soldiers seem to be one of the only supported creature types in this set. So
Yeah, in a wide way.
yeah.
Hmm. Blast Zone is a reprint, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. I don't remember from where.
I just thought that the name and the ability looked really familiar.
It is from More of the Spark.
Ah, okay. Chat says we should read Steel Exemplar. Oh, here it is. Whoa, look at that anime ass pose.
This guy. Yeah, I had one of these.
Oh, yeah, what's it do?
I pumped the mouse. Steel Exemplar for 5. It's an artifact creature wizard. It's uncommon, and it's a 4/4 with trample for 5, which isn't terrible. However, and this was another reason I was mostly in black, it enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters on it, unless 2 or more colors of mana were spent to cast it. I actually
Ooh.
had a, I actually had a player um try to argue with me, and I think I saw where she was coming from, that the mana from my power stones and my pristine talisman, which by the way I got one of those, you remember that? Yeah, so much life gain. But they were like, wait a minute, colorless is a color. And I was like, actually,
Mm,
technically, by definition, it's not. I could see where she was coming from,
That.
but it's not. So, yeah.
yeah, the pulls toward well, the encouragements in this set towards playing monocolor or monocolor plus colorless are kind of interesting.
Hmm. Yeah, because there's the one card, we mentioned it in the last episode, there's the one card in every color that deals with basic lands of that type.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? Liberator. That is terrifying looking. Oh, it's Urza's Battlethopter. So, of course, it's got a big Urza face on it.
The man is not humble.
That is 100% correct. All right, Liberator Urza's Battlethopter. Jesus. For 3 mana is a legendary artifact creature, Thopter. Okay, it's rare. It's a 1/2. It looks bigger than that in the art. It has flash, of course it does, and flying, and you may cast colorless spells and artifact spells as though they had flash. What the hell, dude? Oh, we're not done. Whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana spent to cast that spell is greater than Liberator's power, put a +1/+1 counter on Liberator. Wow.
So in the art, someone has already cast
Several spells. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like the way it's worded, colorless spells and artifact spells, in case you're like prototyping something or just have a colored artifact.
Yeah. Or you're playing Eldrazi.
You go to hell.
Yes, sir. Tell him Chewie sent me here to pick up his order. I don't know. No, that's next episode.
Tell him I said what's up. I don't know. So yeah, that's something. Yeah, I like the
There's
way
a
if you
card.
play it early and protect it, like it won't. It'll just keep getting bigger. Theoretically,
Yes.
that's really cool. And it's got a big Urza face on it, cause of course it does.
That would be like Teddy Roosevelt himself commissioning Mount Rushmore. Did he?
And put my face up there.
So there's a card in the set actually called, and I quote, the Stone Brain. Not a Stone Brain, the Stone Brain. Like, they just know, oh, nobody's got two of these things. There's just the one. For 2 mana, it's a legendary artifact. It's got that lovely artifact crown molding there. And you pay 2 and tap it and exile it. Choose a card name, search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for up to 4 cards with that name and exile them. That player shuffles, then draws a card for each card exiled from their hand. This way, activate only as a sorcery. It's interesting. It says up to 4.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, this isn't doing anything against your Relentless Rats deck.
I mean, it's getting rid of 4 of them.
Yes, and now you'll only have, like, 60 more.
I've seen people talking about this. Oh, is this going to have some big impact on Modern? I'm like, none of the other lobotomy cards did, so I don't know if this one will.
I doubt
Yeah,
it.
it's still 4 mana to not do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you can't even use it as pseudo discard because they're drawing cards to replace whatever you pull out of their hand.
Yeah, you can clip a very important combo piece out of their deck, or something that you just don't have any other way to deal with. But no, it's just not going to cause any problems or make a new deck appear or make any deck stronger. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll put stuff like Lost Legacy in my sideboard if I think it makes sense, but
It's
You're
a
so
stone
cute.
brain.
mm-hmm.
It's like the thinker took out his brain and he's staring at it.
Stone brain. What? What? Do I have any more
Any
of
other
these
suggestions
named
from
people?
chat?
Oh, that's
Oh.
weird.
What?
Jay Spencer just made a comment for something that I hadn't thought of before. It lets you choose any card name. Jay Spencer mentions Stonebrain Islands. Bring it back with Karn. Do it again. Armageddon.
It does just say card name.
Oh,
What the
That's
it
hell?
doesn't.
interesting.
Oh,
I mean, that is a very
wow.
weird angle. I mean, that's part of the reason why it exiles itself. So you have to go really out of your way to reuse it. But that's fascinating.
Yeah, my brain just sort of inserted non-land.
Yeah, or non-basic land because that's what everything else says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Huh.
Okay then. So I guess it could theoretically like screw up an Urzatron.
It could, but I mean, I've played Urzatron, and even years ago, there are plenty of ways to disrupt Tron. You just
True.
got to do it faster than turn 3 if you want to not lose out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Stone Brain cannot do that faster than turn 3.
What are you talking about? You just need to do something for fast mana a turn earlier.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to be on the play and get lucky.
Look, man. A wise person once said that we're up all night specifically for that reason.
That's a good point.
What? So we won't get any sleep until we're in some, suburb of Manhattan? I'm mixing my metaphors now, aren't I?
That was pretty tortured, but I appreciated it.
Yeah, yeah, I did too.
Thank you.
Something, something monkey made out of what? What the hell? Oh, here's another cute card. The Teething Wormlet in green.
He-
Oh,
Heaving wormlet?
yeah, he's cute. It's a baby worm.
It's a good card.
So for a green, it's a 1/1 rare worm. It has Death Touch as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. Huh. And when an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. If this is the first time this ability has resolved this turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on the wormlet. What a weird ass card. So it's a 1/1 that grows the first time you play an artifact each turn.
Mm.
And gains you life and can get Death Touch? I'm sorry, that's a weird ass card. But the art is adorable. Look at him. Soul Partition in white. Okay. Here it is. Soul Partition. All right, somebody read that because I can't read all of a sudden.
Okay. It's an instant for 1 and a white. It's rare. Exile target non-land permanent. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. A spell cast by an opponent this way costs 2 more to cast.
Huh. That's.
So you can cast it and target their stuff, and it's gone. And if they want to get it back, they have to pay the cost plus 2 more. Likewise, you can always, if they're like, I'm going to blow up the world, you can be like, well, now my thing is gone and I'm going to get it back in a minute for, a slight upcharge. Probably with some enters the battlefield effects.
No, there's no slight upcharge if you do it to yourself.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
cool. It's cool if it's your thing.
I misread it. That is, in fact, really cool. I like it.
Oh, weird
Soul
ass card.
Partition.
Yeah, and it's a story spotlight. It says Teferi's body couldn't travel through time far enough, but with Kaya's help, his spirit could. Oh.
Ah, I see what they did there.
Is that where Desynchronize comes in?
I have not read the story, so
Like, Desynchronize's flavor text says before Kaya could pull Teferi's spirit back, the overloaded temporal anchor failed, and he was set adrift in the currents of time.
Oh no.
guessing that's going to be where like the story's going to leave off.
Probably?
Just guessing.
Desynchronize itself, though, for 4 and a blue is a common instant. Target non-land permanent's owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library. Scry 2. So they get to make the decision. Right? You
Yeah,
just
they make
target
the
the
call.
permanent.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the temporal anchor itself,
Is that a
which
thing?
is the temporal anchor is at the end of the artifact section in blue.
Yeah, yar.
So
Oh,
the
you can
temporal
also
anchor.
forge the anchor in blue. It's another story spotlight.
Oh, okay. Well, let's start with forge the anchor.
Oh,
Let's go
okay.
in order. Where is that?
It's in blue. Forging the anchor.
Okay. So that's a sorcery for 2 and a blue. It's uncommon. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal any number of artifact cards from among them and put the revealed cards into your hand, and the rest go on the bottom of your library in a random order. The metal turned and blossomed with Sahili's will, each filigreed twist bringing the temporal anchor closer to completion.
Oh, so they did a big team up.
Yeah.
Sahili's forging the temporal anchor, and Kaya's zapping Teferi's spirit off into the past.
Yep.
Mhm. And the anchor itself is a big, beefy, legendary artifact that costs 3 blue, blue, blue. It's rare.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 2. Whenever you choose to put 1 or more cards on the bottom of your library while scrying, that's important, keep that in mind, just while scrying, exile that many cards from the bottom of your library. During your turn, you may play cards exiled with the temporal anchor.
Huh.
Yep, so you can just, whatever you put away while scrying basically ends up in your hand anyway, as long as you're okay just playing it during your turn.
That's. Huh. That's a neat
It is.
whole thing it's got going on there.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
Razorback said Teferi's supposed to just strictly be observing the Brothers' War, but that didn't work out the way he wanted it to. It never does for Teferi, does it?
No. Or just any time meddling at all.
He's like the Obi-Wan Kenobi of magic. Just everything he tries to do, I can't say that on the show. He just screws it all up.
That's a good character. And yeah, not like Urza, or Urza's just a jerk. Teferi actually has good intentions.
Yeah, it just never works.
Mm-hmm.
Like ever.
Pretty much.
Oh my god. Okay. I was
Yeah.
just scrolling around in green and my heart almost stopped. Because the very last card in green is Simeon Simulacrum, and my brain saw Solemn, and I went, huh?
It's a simian. It's
Yeah.
an ape.
So
So
Simian Simulacrum
yeah.
for 3 mana is a 2/1 artifact creature ape. It's rare. When it enters the battlefield, you put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature you control. Ooh. Could be the ape. Could be
Yeah,
not the ape.
that's good for 3 mana and a
It
good
is.
creature.
And then it has Unearth of 2 green green. Which, yeah. I like this card.
Hmm.
This card is a good card.
Did you mean to say that like a, I don't know, like a pre-programmed drone? I like this card. This card is
A
a
little
good
bit,
card.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I was going for, yeah.
uh, oh well.
So slightly like good boyish, like good card.
Yeah, you're a good card. Who's a good card? Uh,
Who's a good ape?
and
Um,
somewhere, uh, Andy Serkis is like, "How was a good ape?"
you guys, I'm sure covered the root wire amalgam last time, but
That's a
it's still
trip.
kind of crazy because in the round that would have been a tie for me, my opponent did in fact create did create a 15-15.
Nice.
For him, very, yes.
Did he hit you with it?
I blocked it. I think I actually won that round because I blocked it a lot because that's what you're supposed to do.
It's true. That is what you're supposed to do. Unless you can tank the 15 and then win on the swing back, then yeah, you should probably block that. Because I don't know if y'all know this, but 15 is not a small number when your health starts at 20. Buh. Well, we seem to be running out of steam here.
Yeah.
We got plenty of Discord, but I agree. Here for all your dad joke needs.
I couldn't even make out what that joke was supposed to be.
Steam versus I don't know. I don't game, so but you know, Steam like
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. Let's just bury it.
Someone else can unearth it later for some mana cost.
Yeah,
Well, should we just wrap it up then?
let's do it.
Hmm.
Let me.
So I guess
I've lost
so.
OBS. There we go.
Final thoughts.
Yeah, go for it.
So sure. This was a lot of fun. I greatly enjoyed doing the pre-release with my daughter, and I just want to thank everybody that was just an awesome human being over at the card store. It was great to play. Set's really cool. It feels a lot like Mirrodin, but not completely stupid. As much, and don't get me wrong, I loved Mirrodin, but oh wow, just wow. It's funny how even just in the last X years, when they've added colored artifacts and especially prototype allowing you to play, commit to a color, feels so natural when for a long time artifacts were only brown. So, but now it just feels like it just works.
Hmm.
So, good set. Uh, good talking to you guys. I do need to get some work done before I go to bed, so I'm gonna go and pass out and do some work at the same time. It's gonna be really interesting. I'll probably wake up to pen marks on my face, but hope everybody's doing well out there in internet land, and thanks for joining us today, this evening, or whenever you're listening. And yeah, it's a cool set. Looking forward to the next episode of the Mana Pool.
which will not be next week because Thanksgiving here in the States.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard tell, I don't remember if it was in the Discord or just on Twitter or something, of people like the set is set up in such a way that you can actually play mono brown and just throw in basic lands of various colors for prototype and activated abilities and whatnot. And I was like,
Feels
oh,
like
if you get the right pool, I believe it.
yeah. Like I said, all of my creatures were either artifacts or red that I played. So it's possible.
no,
Depends on
like
the
I saw
pool, I
pictures
guess.
of pools. It is literally possible.
Okay. All right. You guys have a good night.
Night,
All
B.
right.
What would you got then, Beardy Face? Or whatever your name is?
Yeah.
Steve? Mark.
So the set also looks really fun to me. I am disappointed that I missed the pre-release. It really caught me off guard. But I just had too much other stuff planned during the weekend that I just wasn't able to make it work out to go anywhere, much less go to hang out with Brian and Sam. That would have been nice, but oh well. I'll try to catch it next time. I did. I think I read somewhere that there's two commander decks, one for Urza, one for Mishra, that are all like old timey frame cards. I'll need to look at the list to see if they look like they're any fun. If they do look like they're any fun, then maybe I'll pick those up. I'm still very happy with the Warhammer Commander decks. I thought those themes came out really good. So hopefully these theme decks will be equally as fun. If they do look like they're fun, then I'll get them. But because I saw some images of some of the cards from them, and I'm like, man, these look really nice and nostalgic, but the new frame is so much easier to read.
Right?
So much easier to read. Oh god, some of the white cards, I'm like, oh, what am I looking at? God, how did I put up with this?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Not all change is bad, folks. Some of it is actually an improvement.
Speaking of change, there was an iOS update that my phone I finally installed, and it changed the font of the clock on the lock screen.
Yeah, that was disorienting to me at first, but I feel like it didn't take me too long to get used to it.
I'm still not used to it. Why is that not an option to change the font? Like, every time I pick up my phone, I'm like, oh, this isn't my phone. But I'm literally the only one here, so it is my phone.
Yeah, it's like with the it looks like, oh, this is some old person's phone. It's like, no, that's mine.
Don't you hate being the same age as old people?
Yeah. Maybe it knows I'm getting older. That's why it made the font bigger.
Anyway, that's just the most recent change that bothered me was that. So was that it for you?
Yes, it is.
Oh. I guess that leaves me then. So I will start by reminding you can go to patreon.com/themanapool to become a lifeguard. I gotta get back on the odds and ends. I was doing really well on posting those for a while, but now I've got videos to work on again, and I've only got so many hours in the day, especially when the software keeps crashing. I mean, what? Did I say, was I bitter? But let me thank our mythic lifeguards in, I don't know, this order. Sure. Kim Maho, Jake Jansons, Timu Hellas Haryu, Jason Kaus, Andrew Hunt, The Beast Father Aaron Goodwine, Al, scroll, Jason Doan, Cody Buckowing, Casey, John Parker, Beardy Man, Scuzzo, Connor Kennedy, Violet Moon, Pinball Witch, ALK Alters, Mr. Dr. Lewis, and Andrew Odie. Yay. Thank you all so very much for your support, and to everybody at every tier of Lifeguard, and all of you just in general who are listening or watching or whatever it is you're doing. And to all of you that follow me on Twitter, assuming Twitter's still up by the time I post this. Like, things are looking bad over there. So I fully expect one morning soon to just wake up and try to open Twitter on my phone, and it'll be like, what? No. But oh well. At least I don't have, like a decade's worth of tweets, because a couple years ago that jackass hijacked my account and deleted like my entire tweet history. So,
Oh, I forgot about that.
yeah. It was awful. But I got it back. I mean, what? So, yeah. As for other final thoughts, I don't really have much going on. I'm still playing through. Okay, so I finished Inscription, and I don't remember if this was in the pre-show. No, this was in the pre-show. So I finished Inscription, and I have to say, you should play Inscription. Seriously, it's so good. You should go in blind. You should stop watching my Inscription videos after episode 3, and just play Inscription. Trust me on this. It's one of those games that can easily be spoiled, and like, I can't even talk about it without hinting at things. Like it, This game completely blew my mind like 4 times. Once I thought, oh, this is not where that was going at all. What? So yeah, that's my recommendation. Play Inscription. It's amazing. And then after you finish story mode, you get the actual roguelike game called Casey's Mod, which is a full-on roguelike with like challenges and progression and all of that. You know, the thing we talked about in the roguelikes episode, or the video game genres episode part 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Inscription has that once you're done with the story, which I thought it was just, okay, so you can keep playing, but it's a roguelike now. And no, it's like a full-ass roguelike game after you finish the full-ass game. Like, what? So, that's fascinating. And I'm still working my way through Hollow Knight and Doom 3. I've decided I am going to play at least the first DLC for Doom 3, Resurrection of Evil, once I finish the main story, which I think should only take 1 more stream. I think might take 2, because every time I think I'm close to the end, it turns out I'm not, because the game does sort of go on slightly. Okay, Hiccups, you can stop that anytime now. But the game does sort of drag on slightly more than it should. Drag on makes it sound negative. Like, in the first stream, I was like, all right, come on, let's get it over with. But the second and third streams of Doom 3, I was enjoying myself thoroughly. So,
good.
It's drag on isn't the right phrasing, but I'm pretty sure everything in the game could be shortened, and they could cut they could knock the playtime down by like 2 hours, and it would make it better. But, you know, since the game's been out this long, I don't think they're going to do that. But the first DLC, Resurrection of Evil, is apparently really good. So I'm probably going to play it too. And the last one apparently is just all right. So I probably won't play it. And then I can move on to Doom 2016. I'm very excited about that. But yeah, and hopefully I'll get back to Final Fantasy VII starting tomorrow. I hope nothing awful happens while I'm dashing or something. I haven't, dude. I don't know what's going on. If it's the weather, because here in North Carolina for the last few days it's been cold. Like we had another like 80-degree day because of course we did, and then 2 or 3 days later it was freaking cold. And I have been reacting badly to the cold out of nowhere. Like, so when I get home from dashing out in the cold, I sit down and I eat and I cover up with a blanket and I'm like, this is where I live now. And so I haven't streamed since Monday. But hoping to get past. I'm here tonight and it wasn't like hard to get up and come. Well, because I ate back here because I didn't have time to sit on the couch. That might be my problem. I might need to stop sitting on the couch. But either way, Final Fantasy VII Remake should be starting up again on Fridays for Final Fantasy Fridays because, you know, that's how we do. Yay. I gotta finish these damn games so I can play these other damn games. Like when I finish Hollow Knight, I'm gonna start the Metroids. And when I finish Doom, I'm gonna start Doom, I guess. Yeah. When I finish Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'm gonna start playing the Pixel Remaster Collection. Yeah. But I gotta get through all these other ones first. Damn it. But okay. And in other news, I seem to be in a better headspace than I have been lately.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully that'll be good. Alchemist said all dooms lead to doom again, right? Because when I finish Doom 2016, I gotta play Doom Eternal. Which again is the whole reason that I started the Doom franchise run, was so I could play the new ones, but understand where they came from. And then I stalled on 3. And 3 is nowhere near as bad as I was led to believe. Like, it's fine. It's not the best. Especially not for a Doom game. Like, if it was some other game, I think it would be better. Because Doom has a very particular vibe to it. And Doom 3 is not that. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, run around and feel like a god and murder things. And I understand they wanted to switch it up for Doom 3 and lean more into the horror, but I don't know. Seems like it would have been better not having... Well, for sales, I'm sure this is the best they could have gotten, but in hindsight, just from a brand perspective, it feels like not a Doom game at all. Even though it's got all the weapons and the monsters and the monster closets, it's just not the same vibe. Yeah. But anyway. It's still good though. I enjoy it. Yeah. But we'll stop now. So yeah, if you're on Twitter and you follow me there, I'll miss you, I guess. Be sure to go to themanapool.com and you can find all of the social media links. I've been posting more on Instagram lately. And of course there's the Discord, which you should already be in the Discord because the Discord's awesome. And yeah, I think that's all I got. So I'm going to shut up now. So this has been episode 665. For all of you who do Thanksgiving here in the States, happy Thanksgiving. No show next week because of that. And yeah, we will see you sometime. Oh, hang on. So next week, yeah, we'll see you sometime in December. Wow. Also, my birthday is Monday, so
Oh wow.
Leave me alone. I'll be busy being old on Monday. But yeah, thank you all so very much for joining us, and play Mono Brown, I guess.